point, it's me again after a little bit, but I mean, I mainly do chosen stuff, not really behind the scenes stuff, more like reviews, and they're on break, so I've been doing that. Anyways, that's not the point of this video. So this is actually a little review, just kind of very low-key, real quick, just wanted to get it out before the movie comes out. Review of The Sound of Freedom that I just saw today. I was able to see it a little bit early today. Anyways, so it definitely it's in this weird space where I guess you could call it faith-based, not necessarily full-on Christian movie, but there's like faith elements in it, you could say. But regardless, either way, with that, see, this is the type of, I guess I will call it faith-based, movie that I do like, where, yes, there is a time and a place for, the more straightforward Christian preaching movies, but much like The Chosen, I more so like the content that it lets the story speak for itself, and even from unquote outsider's perspective of the faith community, you can just still enjoy it and see the importance of it as a piece in and of itself. So I really like that element of it, how it puts story first, and I guess it is message heavy in a way, but in a way that makes sense. But with that, pardon me if I'm all over the place. With that, I really like how it acknowledges just kind of the gravity of the situation. You do know The Sound of Freedom is about this guy that basically goes and tries to take down different human and child trafficking situations and all of that. So, very heavy topic, so it makes sense that it treats it in kind of just a very grounded, real way. And there's definitely some very uncomfortable scenes, which makes sense given the subject matter and everything. And could they have smoothed certain edges out, maybe as far as like language and things like that? Yes. But granted, in this way, see, when it's done in this manner, it wasn't like in an excessive manner per se, and when it's done the way it was in this movie and how it was done, it makes sense. So that it's like given the line of work the guy does and kind of the type of people that he would be in contact with given his line of work, it makes sense that it wouldn't be a whole bunch of oh gosh darn community. It's definitely a little bit more real and a harsh community in that way. So that makes sense that they're not smoothing out those edges. not that I am pro language, especially in like faith-based movies, but I also don't mind it when it is in a scenario that makes sense. Like, it's not excessive, but it's in a scenario that it makes sense, and where it almost wouldn't make sense if there was absolutely no language in the context of some of these situations. Like, it plays situations and, you know, language or whatever, how real people in real life would talk. Like, again, it's not like it's a bunch of Christian churchgoers all hanging around having conversations. Like, no, these are, you know, just people working in a very not good industry, and people working to stop that, and that can take a toll on you. So they're probably not going to be the most smoothed out people. And that's just a way, probably too long explanation of my views on language in this movie. But with that, yeah, there's definitely some, you know, more uncomfortable scenes, as I mentioned, and those are mainly towards the beginning, at least in my personal opinion. Probably some of the more ones are in the beginning. But of course, there's still stuff throughout it. And yeah, of course the acting is really good. Like, it just feels like a movie. You know, granted, maybe like some indie tones to a degree, but it feels like a movie. And of course, the acting and cinematography and stuff like that is really good. Of course, you have Jim Caviezel, who was in, what is it called? Wow, I'm totally blanking on what it's called. The Count of Monte Cristo. There you go. And I think he was in something else too. I don't know. Maybe. I'm totally joking. And another little shout out is it also has in it Eduardo Bear something. I'm gonna butcher his last name, but according to IMDb, he plays the character of Paul. And shout out to him. I mean, of course, he had like a good performance in this movie for what it was. He played a pretty small part. But anyways, the main shout out to him is just, he was also in, I would say, like a much smaller movie, but somewhat in the lines of this movie that's not like straight up faith-based movie, but has faith elements in it that I really appreciate. A movie called Bella from years ago, and that movie always stuck with me as just this really well done small indie movie, also with faith elements in it, but it doesn't feel like preachy. It's focusing on getting the message by telling a story, not a sermon. So just shout out there, because he was also in that movie, and I think, you know, helped produce this and that movie. I think that's mainly it. I'm already going longer than I'd hoped to, but speaking of Jim Caviezel and Count of Monte Cristo television, there was definitely this, at least in my opinion, this like almost frame little scene that's like he definitely had his Jesus going. Just I don't know, just the angle that his face was at and everything like that. I was like, yep. And just everything going on. And it seems like, yeah, you definitely definitely have your bringing out your Jesus element there. That I kind of got a little kick out of that, knowing Noah's background. Anyways, that's all for now. Would definitely recommend the movie. Not an easy watch, but recommended one. Definitely not for kids, if that's needless to say. Pretty heavy movie, but would recommend it. And that is all. Like,